Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Adoptions from the Heart TV. I'm your host, Amanda Aliberti. I am really excited to welcome Talia. She interned here at Adoptions from the Heart and recently took over as caseworker through our Virginia office. So, welcome, Talia.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
So it sounds like not only are you passionate about adoption, but you have a personal connection to adoption. Do you want to share a little bit about your story and what brought you to our agency?
Yeah, of course. So I was adopted at 5 months through an international adoption from Guatemala City. My parents ended up getting me around 5 months because the process is a little bit different when it's more international. I've been here in Virginia for the past 23 years, and for my internship, my major was actually human services. So I was trying to figure out something that really resonated with who I was. And I found Adoptions from the Heart, and I was like, I definitely need to apply to do my internship here. And I heard back from Nicole, our supervisor, and I was offered the position as the intern.
That's wonderful, and we're looking forward to having you on our team. It's always nice when we have staff that are members of the triad themselves, because I think it just adds that personal connection and it helps teach the rest of our staff, and I think it also helps our adoption community as a whole. Taking us back a little bit to your personal story, with whatever you're comfortable sharing, what was your life like as an adoptee? Do you feel as though your parents gave you the life that you had wanted, or just what your experience was like being an international adoptee from Guatemala?
Yeah, so I was very fortunate of growing up where I grew up. I grew up in Northern Virginia, which is about like 15, 20 minutes away from DC, depending on how traffic is. Traffic is very crazy there, especially learning how to drive there. I was a transracial. My parents are both Caucasian, and I was very fortunate to have very diverse schools growing up: middle school, high school, elementary school, even preschool. I've had friends from all different type of backgrounds. And I think that's the one thing that really helped me become who I was. And I think my parents gave me the best life that they could and still are. I mean, I just graduated college and they were there to see me walk across the stage. And I know that they were super proud of me because it took 5 years, but 5 years and I did it.
That's wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What would be your advice, having been in our community now for some time, and you've probably taken our transracial adoption course? What advice would you have for folks, the ones who are doing the research, taking the classes, trying to prepare themselves the best that they can for a potential transracial adoption? What advice would you give as an adoptee who has lived that experience? What would you share with them? What would be the biggest thing that you'd want them to know?
I actually love this question so much because I've talked about this so much during the courses that we've taught. I've done intersectionality, and there was another course that I did. And I think just making sure that you are open to everything that comes in with being a transracial adoptee. If their parents are like Hispanic, like my parents threw me a quinceañera to honor like my heritage, which I thought was like very sweet, because they were originally going to throw me like a sweet 16 and then decided to throw that for me, which was very amazing. So just kind of like getting used to like the different cultures and all of that.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. I mean, that's a really big step. We talk about trying to honor an adoptee's culture or heritage. So for your parents to have given you that, that's wonderful. Have you ever had the experience or curiosity of trying to search for your birth family? I don't know if you have any sort of connection. What would be your response on that?
Yeah, so I've always wanted to. I think that, being an international adoptee, it's a little bit harder than if it was just in the United States. My mom always said at the end of the day, she just wanted me to be ready for it. I think ever since working at Adoptions from the Heart and doing my internship here, I feel like I've blossomed a lot throughout like my own adoption story. I feel like connected through everyone. I got to speak on the adoptee panel with Christian and Emily, and Brandy was the host for that. So I got to share my story with them and we got amazing questions.
Having participated in a lot of what we do, because here at Adoptions from the Heart, we are an open adoption agency for those who are listening in. And I'm just curious, having come from an international adoption, which was probably more closed, right? You don't have as much connection to your birth family. Did that or does that open your eyes to anything new that maybe you hadn't thought of, or just the experience of what folks get when they get open adoption, whether you're a birth parent or an adoptive parent? Like, I'm just curious if that sparked anything for you.
Yeah, I think I definitely got a better understanding of what she probably was going through, and she wanted the best life for me. And I think that if the opportunity comes around to getting to know her, I would totally be up for it. And I think that's why my mom wanted me to be ready. And of course, if she isn't, then that's totally okay. I mean, I do know that I have a biological brother who's 5 years older than me, so maybe I can connect with him in some type of way, but I'm also very happy where I am in my life right now, so I understand either way.
Yeah, that's great to hear. And we've heard that a lot, that there's a lot of similarities, right? Whether you're an adoptee, a birth parent, or an adoptive parent. So I think that if you're not able or don't have the opportunity to know your birth family, hearing from other folks, from other members of the triad, can sometimes help you better understand maybe the experience of what your birth mom may have gone through. Not exactly the same thing, but just knowing maybe her reasons why or whatnot when you hear from other birth moms. So I'm happy you had that experience. And that's something we also encourage, is that anytime you have the opportunity as an adoptive parent to hear from an adoptee or a birth parent, birth mom or birth father, lean in on that, listen in on that, because there's a lot of similarities and things that you may be able to take in your own family and help your own, family dynamic and your child as he or she grows.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that.
Great. Anything that you want our community to know? I know you've been with us now some time. Anything you feel like you want to put out there, or just something you want to stress, having both the professional and personal connection to adoption?
I think, honestly, just love the process you're going through. I know it may, depending on how long you're waiting, like the right time will come and it will be amazing. Whenever you guys become parents, it will all be worth the time. So that would be like my biggest advice and my heartfelt.
Wonderful. Well, we appreciate you, Talia. I know our team is super excited that you were able to join us. We look forward to an amazing future. We are hopeful that you will stay with us for a long time. And yeah, hopefully our community is able to learn a little something from your story, and we look forward to the future. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and please check out future episodes here at Adoptions from the Heart TV. Hey guys, if you are enjoying the content here at AFTH TV, please subscribe and hit the bell.